It is reported that Nigeria produces around 32 million tons of waste every year, but only 20 to 30% of it are collected adequately. This means that the rest of the waste is dumped in open spaces, rivers, and other waste sources. In Edo State, there are constantly the sight of waste, including at marketplaces. And so in this week's edition of Midweek Connect, we will be looking at Benin markets and waste management. I am Udra Kobon Achibom. Welcome to the program. I'm not alone as usual. Ifoma Okafo is here with me. Ifoma, you're welcome to the program.
You're welcome. Good morning, Udwak.
Good morning too.
Welcome.
Yes, of course we'll be looking at waste. It's something that is very critical
Honestly.
across the country.
Honestly.
Because we know what waste can really do to the human, if not
Exactly, to the
managed.
environment.
Yes.
So we should also think you're green.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what we're looking at today. But before we do that, let's look at our tickets for today. Ekomatan in the Southwest Local Government Area of Edo State has been opened to new businesses opportunities in the hospitality industry. This follows the official opening of five-star hotel, St. Taye Grand Hotel, in the area.
God are doing it perfectly. The process of brooding it, we have not lost anything. Everything will go smoothly. I give all the glory.
I'm very happy. I thank every one of them that come to celebrate with us for far and near. I say God will bless every one of them in Jesus' name.
Rejoice with those who are rejoicing. I'm happy today that we are not mourning, that we are celebrating.
Members of the Habitation Church of God International have celebrated this year's Galilee a day after the resurrection of Christ. The celebration coincided with the 74th birthday of the General Overseer of the Church, Reverend Tolu Aderibigbe.
Here to remind the people the purpose of Galilee, to remind them, to let them know that the work of Jesus must continue, does not end in resurrection. He told us in Acts 1 that we shall receive power when the Holy Ghost must have come upon us.
I'm doing double celebration. He has done a great thing. He is a faithful God that I have added one to my life.
It's my husband's birthday and it fell on Galilee. And Galilee, we are here now to meet God and to pray that God should extend his life to see that 100 or above.
Now, about 300 widows and other indigent persons have received palliatives to give them a sense of belonging. This is in line with the tradition of Easter Galilee experience organized annually by the parish priest of St. Francis Catholic Church, Very Reverend Father Andrew Obian. An array of guest artists charged the atmosphere with praise and worship songs.
The love of Jesus that he has poured into our hearts moves us just to reach out to people, to give of ourselves the little we can.
I be widow. They don't give me envelope. They give me rice, they give me clothing. I thank them.
They didn't make a second time when we come here last year and this year.
You're still watching Midweek Connect on NTA Benin, and of course we'll be back with the discussion we have for today, but that will be after this time out.
On NTA Benin Network Center, Channel 7 VHF, Star Times on Channel 103. You can log on to our social media handles: YouTube NTA Benin, Facebook NTA Benin, Twitter NTA Benin 1. For breaking news, call our news desk on 091 535-596-48. NTA Benin, the award-winning station.
Do you live in Aduawa and environ? Or you need a conducive and open field in Aduawa for your wedding receptions, birthday parties, annual ceremony, family or corporate event in a serene and conducive environment that is close to nature? Then look no further. NTA Benin Aduawa is a place for you. NTA Benin Aduawa has a large field for all your events and ceremonies. Also, at NTA Corporate Headquarters TV Road, we have a state-of-the-art, fully air-conditioned, ultra-modern hall for all kinds of indoor events with a standby generating set, guest room, constant power supply. We also have the NTA Pavilion for all outdoor events at the same venue. Guess what? Our prices are affordable, locations are easily accessible, venue is conducive and highly secure. Our outside broadcast van is available 24 hours and can broadcast your events live. And above all, you can air your events on our award-winning programs like Events and Style. Wow! What are you waiting for? Grab this opportunity and have your celebration in a grand style. For inquiries and bookings, please call NTA Benin, the award-winning station.
NTA Benin, reaching you from the ancient city of bronze, the cradle of black civilization.
Yes, this is Midweek Connect on NTA Benin. And of course, it's a program that we look into issues in our environment, how it affects the people, and what should be done about them. And so for this week's edition, we'll be looking at market, Benin market, and waste management. And of course, I won't be doing this alone. I have guests with me here in the studio. And right beside me is Solomon Idiobe. I hope I'm correct. Yeah, well. He's a public affairs analyst and civil rights activist. You're welcome to the studios.
Thank you very much. Good morning, and viewers at home, very good morning this morning.
Yes, and right beside him, of course, you've had him here before. Even Solomon has also been a guest on this program, and so we equally have another guest that has also been coming around to share views here in this program, and he's Dr. Festus Udobo, yes, from the University of Benin Teaching Hospital. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, viewers.
Thank you so much. Yes, Benin markets and waste management. Let's start with you, Mr. Solomon.
Benin markets, like you have mentioned, waste management. Yeah. It's pathetic what we see on our
But before we do that, yes, before we discuss any of this topic, we normally do have a background to guide us, to let us understand what we need to talk about. So let's first look at what we have for today.
It is a place where goods, especially fruit produce, are sold, therefore should be kept clean at all times. There is therefore a need for traders to always keep their surroundings clean, as well as the need for government to mobilize waste managers to sort out the issue by daily evacuating the generated waste. Apart from being an eyesore, a heap of dirt at different locations in the local market is harmful both to the sellers and the buyers. This is more so when food items purchased from such dirty markets are consumed without proper washing and cooking. However, the state government has set the ball rolling as regards market sanitation as being currently witnessed in some of the markets in Benin metropolis. Some traders are also cooperating with the state government in ensuring a clean trading environment befitting of purchasing items. Midweek Connect will give you the opportunity to call in and make your contributions as it treats Benin markets and waste management.
So you've just watched the background that has ushered us into the main discussion this morning. So before we went on that, Udwak was asking you to, so can you react on what you watched on the background? The markets.
I don't need to watch the backgrounds or the teasers to be able to tell you the pathetic situations of the Benin markets and major areas in Benin City as a result of poor waste management. Poor waste management because we have poor waste managers. The question is this. I know that a lot of people would want to blame the waste attitude of marketers on market women and those living around the market vicinities. It goes beyond that because governments everywhere are the enforcers of law and order. So the question is, does the Benin market woman or a Benin trader pay for waste management? The answer is yes. Every Dick and Harry in the Benin City metropolis pay for waste management. If you are not aware, even those who hawk pure water pay for waste. Every shop, every attaché, every I'm trying to remember this market name they call them, lockers that they have, they all pay a daily disposal fee to waste managers, sometimes through their market unions, sometimes directly through their waste managers who have agents who come to collect the fees. And then when you talk about homes, though we are not going to dwell on homes today, we're trying to look at the markets as it were. Yeah. They all pay. So whose fault now of managing waste? Is the waste manager. Do you have a central place where you collect waste? When the central place are filled up, do you come to carry them as and when due? I'll give you New Benin Market as an example. Between Costain Junction and Holy Cross, there's a junction there after Adesoa, opposite where they load these people by bus. There's supposed to be a waste collection center there. But have you also noticed that right from the traffic lights at New Lagos Road down to almost Costain Junction, there are bags of waste that are deposited on that pavement slab on the roadsides. And then you can't pass there without stenching smell. Because the waste managers do not come and evacuate those dirt as and when due. And let me tell you, as a result, most dwellers within that vicinity steal that advantage. At midnight, they come to drop refuse on the roadside. Mark you, because I live within the area, as late as 12 a.m. if you drive past that area, you see those sweepers also sweeping and adding their their
We'll
debris.
come back to you.
So no, the point I'm trying to make before you come back to me is that the issue is not majorly the markets traders as it were. It's majorly about the poor waste managers in Benin. Yet it is controlled by government. People are meant to pay, and the managers are not doing their job. And when people in quotes default, especially houses default, they are quick to take them to mobile courts, but they fail to look at their own where they fail. That's my point.
Okay, we'll still come back to you, comrade. Dr. Udobo, you are a medical doctor. So what are the implications of this waste management to health?
Okay, to put it succinct, the issues of poor waste management in terms of the health implications are not just something we can encapsulate in a small measure. Okay, the issues are both immediate health issues and then long-term health issues. All right, you know that, of course, rodents, pathogens, and vectors that carry diseases, reside in waste. That is where they harbor themselves. And so if you keep waste close to yourselves in your environment, they are not properly disposed, then you are inviting diseases, infections, and poor health to yourself. And so the problems start with the market woman who spent a larger portion of her day hour close to those refuse dumps. The effluents, gaseous effluents emanating from there are not only about the bad odor, but this vapor also help to transmit the pathogen, the viruses and the bacteria that cause respiratory tract diseases, cholera, diarrhea diseases in children, and even malaria. Because when you keep those refuse around, it's going to be a breeding ground for mosquitoes. And so we cannot talk about eliminating malaria from Africa and indeed Nigeria without addressing the issues of waste management. And then, like I said, those are immediate effects or complications of poor waste management on our health, but they're also long term.
Okay.
You do understand that poor waste management have implications on the environment in terms of air pollution, in terms of land pollution, in terms of water pollution, and all of these have a wide array over time on how it impacts on our health. We are talking about global warming today. It starts from there. These wastes that you see are eventually going to find their way through the drainage system into our water bodies.
Yes.
All right, so it's going to pollute our waters, and you do know that a large proportion of our people depend on stream. If you go to Ekpobahi right now, you will see some person having their bath, washing their clothes, and even fetching water from Ekpobahi.
It's also killed.
It's also not just that, even the borehole you have in your house, when it rains, those wastes are going to percolate. The nuisance, the chemicals in there and all that is going to percolate into the soil. And where you have areas where your water table is very shallow, it's also going to pollute your underground water. And therefore, even the water you are drinking for your bowl, it cannot be regarded as safe or pure water anymore. All right, so there are a lot of issues. Not to talk about the long-term issues of cancers and all of that. Global warming, we're talking about, heat and all of that. There are issues.
All right, let's look at it, Mr. Solomon. Now, we know that you are talking about government, the evacuators, the managers are not doing their work. And I know that government in recent times have come up with efforts. We've had issues of campaigns, we've had issues of meetings, and I think we have a door cleanup campaign sometime, and a task force, and everything government is trying to do. And I think recently there was a stakeholder meeting where participants agreed that there should be sanctions. It's like we are looking at markets that are not clean will be shut down and something like that. Do you think that government's efforts are sufficient enough? to tackle waste management in the state, or what should they be doing more?
Government have policies. Government have programs. So if I think I understand what you're saying, you're talking about a few government programs targeted at trying to encourage or ginger the people to be healthy.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing. I grew up in this town to meet with the likes of Iko, who are against a discipline. In the normal language, they call it environmental sanitation. And it was compulsory that every Saturday you must clean. And those Saturdays, government deploys health officers, payloaders, trucks, tippers if you like, to evacuate debris that are removed from drains, from your houses. They come, they ask everybody is expected to be by the roadside, from your inside to the roadside, to removing the dirt from your house into evacuating the drains in front of your houses. And then when those things are put on the roadside, the caterpillars will come and push them into, load them into trucks that go and dispose them. You don't have them anymore. Those are part of programs that government should encourage. It starts from there. It's everybody sit down every Saturday. You don't want to. You are encouraging it too. You are encouraging indiscipline. You are encouraging poor waste management. Now, the major problem is that the waste managers know to generate revenues. They don't know to do their jobs. We have had a whole lot of issues with these waste managers. Now, it all starts and ends with government. If government wants our markets clean, they can. Because government work hand in hand with market unions. And these market people, to a very large extent, respect their market unions. To a very large extent. And to a very large extent, if this, let me tell you, is it that the market women or traders do not bring out their debts to the place that they want to bring it, or that the waste managers don't remove it? I'm sure the latter will be your answer. It is the waste managers that do not remove it that causes the pollution.
Because this morning, as I was passing through the Ecusa, that's a key market, so I saw some heaps of
with bags
inside
yes.
bags, meaning
now,
that
people have evacuated
the gutters.
Not only that, madam, the point I'm also trying to make, that when you see those things on the roadside, it suggests that the market woman has done her bit by removing the debris or the dirt from her shop and bring it to where it should be disposed.
Don't you think that there's a missing link? Because I saw somewhere that there's this rift between the evacuators and the people. They said the evacuators will say some of them don't pay early enough for us to come and carry all this refuse from them. And the residents are saying, like market people say, we do our bit. And do you think that something is not happening somewhere?
Let me tell
People
you.
are not trying to sabotage
Let me
efforts.
tell you, because we didn't want to go to residents, I would have asked you, how many times have you seen refuse disposers come to carry your own at home? Yet they bring you bills every month. And the rules of engagement in waste disposal is that when they come, they open a register with you. They must mark their register for every time they come to collect. And when they fail to come and carry, they don't also have the moral justification or legal right to come and demand for services they didn't render. But what do you see here? They ask for payment for service they do not render. I just gave this as a small illustration. Have you gone through Mission Road by Holy Cross? You see by that slab, people. Now, you don't need now to ask those who drop it. You can send your investigators to go and find out how it comes there. But your duty as waste managers is to remove waste.
Remove waste, yes.
Wait,
Doctor,
I'm
trying to make a point.
Yeah, because to remove waste, when you are removing waste and you are not getting well paid, you also need to put up a mechanism for your collections. What we see, while we see stinking smells on marketplaces, roadsides, point I am making is that the refuse collectors are refusing to collect the refuse, and sometimes not designated places for refuse become designated places for refuse. For instance, those slabs on the roadsides, those pavements are not designated places for waste.
Do we really have
Most
them in the
times-
states? Designated places
Yes,
for
in markets. In
dumping?
markets.
Or
No,
having
in markets.
receptacles.
Maybe in market, even in market.
No, in
Don't
market.
you see that it's normally thrown
No,
by the
no, no,
wayside?
no. In
There's
markets-
nothing that
no, in some mar-
receptacles
no, in-
or like.
No. In some markets, there used to be this tank, big tank, where they have this truck. They'll come and lift it. Now, what they do is that those trucks that used to come lift it are no longer there.
What happened?
They'll just.
That they are
I'm
missing?
not government. I'm not government.
That's what I
No,
said.
but I'll give you an example that is beautiful that used to exist in Benin.
Okay.
I was in Noka somehow last year. I can't remember exactly.
Okay, in Anambra
In
State.
Anambra State, okay. And I discovered that there are strategic places where this same kind of waste collectors, the ones they use to,
Receptacles
yes,
are
are
kept.
kept.
So you just dump
as you
your
come, just come and
refuse.
dump. If you drop refuse outside that place, there are people who will pick you up.
They will pick you up.
That's what I'm talking.
They'll
I
force
said
you-
it used
they'll
to.
force
No,
you to pick it.
Edo State sees it as an avenue to raise money.
Why
And
do you
that's
say
what
so? Why do you say so?
If not, why not? Because if not, I don't know how they do their planning. Because I don't live there, but I just saw it and I admire it.
That's
Now,
what they do.
it used to be like this in my state. You understand that they just have locations where you are expected to go dump your refuse. If we catch you throwing it anywhere, and then they also have dump sites. Now, why I said that those states is with the mindset of making wealth from refuse collection without necessarily doing the job, is to this effect that even when you now see, if you know that you don't want them to drop waste on the pavements, get your taxes to be on ground and give a location where they must drop that, and you must evacuate it every day or every 2 days,
Or the market tax force should take it up.
or you must have an arrangement with the market union
Tax force,
to
yeah.
ensure that. And let me tell you, nobody is above market union in any market. In Edo State, I can tell you without fears, no trader is above the market union. If they give an order, they obey. But it goes to show that there is no clear synergy between the market unions and the waste collectors, and the waste collectors, without fears, will tell you, are actually not doing their
Let me
jobs.
tell you, cut you in there, because I saw something about that some years back. There had been a rift between government evacuators and private evacuators. They were like, government one should do the work and private, and they were working together. Like they have clashes, and people like, we even prefer the private coming to work because they come early enough and all that. But government seem to be lagging. Don't you think that is equally a bend to?
Are you also, let me also correct something. Are you also aware that the issue of waste collection by government have become more forceful and more or less compulsory than using private collectors? I did that in my place at the point when for months they don't come to collect bills, and then they don't come to collect refuse, and then they come and give you bills. And I told them, we don't do that. You don't work in John Holt and collect money from UAC. Don't do it.
Okay, comrade,
So
sorry.
point I'm making here is that in all of this, the bulk of the problem, as much as the residents have their own issues, because some people don't even have toilets in their household, yet government pay health officers, the ones that wear white and brown. There is air pollution. People go, there's a place, maybe I don't want to start talking.
So what are the solutions? As you're leaving, you soon leave the set. So what are the
People do
solutions,
things with
comrade?
impunity, and government are not doing, or is actually not doing what is expected of government to do, and as such they lose funds and they lose credibility, credence, and respect from people. What I expect is that government should hold waste managers accountable, hold them to live up to expectations, and then get the people with them into lines. Government has the power to set up task force, has power to set up monitoring teams to monitor the task force. It's just like police the police.
Policing.
You understand? When you are policing the police, you'll be able to know where and when. Now you just come. It's not about town hall meetings, gatherings, symposium. It's about doing the job. I am telling you, go around marketplaces, you see that the market women and market men have brought out their debts to the roadside.
Yeah,
The waste managers are not picking them. So that's no longer a problem to the market men and women. It is a problem of the waste of the evacuators. And the evacuators, if they feel that they are short paid, they should bring up another mechanism of waste refuse collections and payments that will be more effective for them. Rather than pursue shadow. Because right now, if you ask them, they'll tell you 110 stories of why it is not effective. But how about those deaths on the road? You now see, this one now tell you that it's not my location. But I've had that issue. I went to report to a certain waste collection center. What I'm saying is an eyesore. He said no, it belongs to
the local government.
No, it's not even local government. They have jurisdiction. He said that's not my location. It belongs to bit A. It is a so and so person that's supposed to collect it. And you go there, the waste collector tells you no, my own ends at that street before this one. And so if you look at that, this thing is at the other edge of this. And so you see blame game.
And that's what I said. We keep having the blame game and all that. Yes, of course. But we are still on Midweek Connect, and we'll be back. It's interesting what we are having here. We'll be back after this time out.
At this point, he wants to pull out. That's why we're going on break. Because when we come back, Comrade must have gone. He has other engagements.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
It's a pleasure having you this morning.
You need a conducive and open field in Aduawa for your wedding receptions, birthday parties, annual ceremony, family or corporate event in a serene and conducive environment that is close to nature? Then look no further. NTA Benin Aduawa is a place for you. NTA Benin Aduawa has a large field for all your events and ceremonies. Also, at NTA Corporate Headquarters TV Road, we have a state-of-the-art, fully air-conditioned ultra-modern hall for all kinds of indoor events with a standby generating set, guest room, constant power supply. We also have the NTA Pavilion for all outdoor events at the same venue. Guess what? Our prices are affordable, locations are easily accessible, venue is conducive and highly secure. Our outside broadcast van is available 24 hours and can broadcast your events live. And above all, you can air your events on our award-winning programs like Events and Style. Wow! What are you waiting for? Grab this opportunity and have your celebration in a grand style. For inquiries and bookings, please call NTA Benin, the award-winning station.
If you are just joining us, this is Midweek Connect, and today we are looking at Benin markets and waste management. Of course, at the initial point, we had two guests, but right now we are left with one because the other guest has something pressing to attend to. And so Dr. Festus Sudubo is still here with us to talk more on the topic. Yes, Doctor. Before we look into the health aspect of it, we've been talking about Benin market and waste management. And you heard what the other guests had been saying. What's your own take, viewing Benin market and waste management?
Well, I just want to say that our waste management processes here is not only embarrassing, but it's also very irresponsible. It just showed irresponsibility on the part of all of us as citizens and as government and enforcers of law. Because the truth is that every human being has a tendency to misbehave, all right? So it's the duty of the government to make people behave the right way. Just like you have children, they are at liberty to misbehave. It's your own duty to caution them and make them behave the way they should behave. Like Comrade said before he left, the issue, the people have their own part of the problem, but I think the larger problem is with government. Because for government, you should understand that the onus is on you to maintain law and order and to ensure that you have healthy population. Because if you don't have healthy population, your workforce will be down. If I'm sick, I won't be at work. Who will that affect? It will be a loss to the government, a loss of my man hour. All right, and then you're going to spend more resources in hospitals in combating infectious diseases that would have ordinarily not been there. For instance, you can't be talking about cholera, for instance, in the United States of America. You can't be talking about, what kill our people here? Under 5, a larger proportion of deaths here, especially among under 5 children, are infectious diseases. From malaria to diarrhea, cholera. These are still the problems. And all these are problems that emanate from poor waste management, poor environmental conditioning. All right? So it's just irresponsibility. That's the way I see it. Government have failed to take up its responsibility. Let me tell you, the truth is that if you want to look at it very well, waste management should not be profit-oriented issue. It should be a social responsibility of government to the people. And if you want to say, okay, yes, we have employees who work under there and we need to pay them, there are ways you can do it. These market people you will talk about, don't they pay taxes on daily basis? Can you not incorporate that waste fee into the tax they pay? You as a civil servant, you pay your taxes, right? In that your tax, if you look at the breakdown, it's not just one commodity you are paying for as tax. All right? So government at the local government, at the state level, have huge responsibility to this, to maintain and sustain the environment. We are talking about environmental sustainability. If we continue the way we are going, the environment will not be sustainable.
From your own observation, looking at Benin markets, can you really say that Benin markets are really having it when it has to do? Because, like me personally, my own experience is that whenever I'm passing through Ikoba Hill, that market, is it what I don't know what they call it, that Red Benin market.
Yeah.
I have never a day seen that market clean. I must confess. I must confess. You will always have refuse dumps in front of that market. No matter how, any day I passed through that route, I was like, so I don't know. I think in other markets it's been replicated. I think one of the markets I seem to see a deviation is a go. If I'm not, because if you pass through that market, you hardly see dumps in front of them. Whether they dump it inside the market, I don't know. So what can you really say about Benin markets and all that? Who is really to be blamed with this market issue? Because that's where people say, like the other person said, a lot of people stay there from morning till night.
We said
and
it,
all that.
I said it before. Who is to be blamed? I said if we're going to divide blames, we will say probably the government should be blamed 80 to 90%. Why the people be blamed 10%? Okay, why did I say this?
Let's look at the attitude of the people.
The attitude of the people. Let me tell you, there is no way a market woman will not generate waste. Waste is a normal process of life. You as an individual, as a living human being, you generate waste, even your own body. All right, you eat your food, some will come out as waste, either as urine or fecal matter. So waste production is a normal part of life. And so when we come to occupation, homes and all of that, there is no way we will not generate waste. There will always be those things that are not needed, not useful, to be disposed. And so it is normal for market to generate waste. Now the issue is the disposal of that waste. All right, government has the duty to make policies that will say that, oh, we are designating certain area for women to come and dump their waste at the end of the day. All right, and that not just designating area, you know, if those things you mentioned now, many of them are just open dump sites. All right, that again poses health implication to the people. So if you're going to bring out a dump site near where people stay, near the market, it should be something that has an enclosure.
Of course.
All right. So it should be a bin that can be covered, not where rats and other rodents and flies.
And also at the end of the day, they run to the shop, stores, and all that.
Yes. You know, so that is the issue. Now, you will attest to it that you go through these marketplaces, you see this waste by the roadside. Many times, It is because government have not provided a designated area. Therefore, the market women don't be telling where they choose.
And whenever they and people can even take advantage
even
of
where
it.
there are designated areas and waste bin, the proper thing is not being done.
Okay, no, what
These
about
places are open, and then by the time you bring in a small waste bin and say, oh, this is for a market of over 500 people, and within a day, the bin is full, and then the waste managers don't come as frequent to remove those bins. So in a couple of days, it's overfilled, and then it begins to litter everywhere. It stinks, and then it become a site, for rodents, for vectors, for all sorts of, organisms to come and feed, and those things, they have relationship with us. Those rats are going to go back to people's houses. All right, those flies that have come to perch there to feed are going to perch on the food the market woman is eating. It's going to come back to her house. It's going to perch on the food that you are going to buy from that market.
Yes, right? Doctor, before you continue, please, viewers, you can call into this program and make your contributions and suggestions as we are looking at Benin markets and waste management. Yes, Doctor, you can continue.
So, like I said, it puts all of us at risk. Even you that is in this studio now, you are at risk. Whatever is happening at those markets will affect you, but you are going to go back to that market and buy. All right, you go to some places, you see where they sell meat is not different from where someone is selling apple. It's not different from where another person is, all mixed together.
And Doctor,
in their front is a huge refuse dump.
You know what surprises me is at times I'm looking at these people, they are so comfortable. When you look at people in the marketplace selling, the refuse dumps are there. They are so comfortable, even eating around that place and all that. And they don't mind. And I begin to say, is it that, don't they have a role to play? Because I believe that if you put pressure on somebody, whether he or she didn't want to do it, he may be forced to do it. Now, if they know that they pay these monies to the maybe their unions and all that, and as a middleman, and at the end of the day, they put pressure on them. Maybe these people will be able to extend that pressure to government.
Yes,
too. Don't you think that more or less, even these market people are even relaxed?
Yes, they have their own. That's why I gave 10% of the blame to them. Because if you have paid for something, for services,
I should be putting
and that
service
is not being rendered to you, okay, you have a right to bring your service provider to accountability. Okay, now who is in position to do that? The market union, the organized market union. But don't forget that this is Africa, this is Nigeria. Even those so-called market union and organizations are many times the leadership are even imposed on the people, and so they tread with caution. If you talk too much, the market woman can lock up your shop. I mean, the union can come and lock up your shop and say, are you the only one here? Why is this only you that is making noise? So that's why I say all of us have an issue. Our attitude to bringing those in position to accountability. Okay, so we'll just and then therefore, because they are imposed, many times they want to please those that have imposed them, those that have given them the position, and so they play along. Okay, sometimes the leadership, we caution them. There are some stations you go to right now that I can't speak with this liberty I'm speaking here. There are some states, studios you go to, they tell you what you should say. If you say beyond that, they end the program and ask you to go. So that is the problem. Do the people really have that exercise of their power and right? We don't. We are not actually free. You understand? So yes, they have a right to cry out through their union, but that union leadership, how do they have the foresight? How are they constituted? Do they have the people at heart? You know, at the end of the day, you discover that almost every union in this country is organized to make the people. All organized union, many of them, many associations are organized, you know, and then a few privileged ones have taken the center. They have hold the union to ransom. And they feed on the levies, on the dues, and on the fields.
And forget about
the basic things that is the reason for formation of that association in the first place.
Yes, because because when I came into Benin newly, I noticed that there was always market sanitation on Mondays. I noticed it.
Yes.
And you see that whenever it's in the morning up to 10 o'clock, if you go to market that time, everywhere is locked. And people try to clean the market and all that. I don't know what would have happened at the end of the day, because as at today, if you go to the market early enough on Monday, everybody just seems to be waiting for 10 o'clock.
Okay, without doing the sanitation.
Let 10 o'clock just come, let's open our shops and all that. And you see at the end of the day, the refuse dumps are still there in the market.
That's why I told you that the government.
Is it that people are somewhat
they are relaxed that people let me tell you
taken
when I was growing up in this same state, okay, I think every last Saturday of the month it was sacrosanct. Every household will come out, get your machetes, get your spade, clear your front. I mean, deceit the gutters around your home. If you do not do it, there are law enforcers who will come around. In short, if you are caught walking, maybe you want to leave this street to another one to see somebody. If you are caught, you'll be arrested. During those hours, no movement.
Of course.
It has, I mean, with intrastate vehicles and all of that, no one is allowed to walk. You are expected to go back and clean your environment.
So what
now, that was policy. And because there was enforcement, the people obeyed.
So that means
it's not sufficient.
Enforcement.
Yes.
There's issue with enforcement.
So it's not sufficient to make a policy. You have the duty to enforce that policy, and the government have that power. And so if you say in this house as a father, nobody comes in later than 8 p.m. You must give a reason why you should be out by 8 p.m. If you just make that statement as a statement and you do not prepare to enforce it, it will be flouted by the children. Okay, so it's the same thing here. If government make policy, government also have the wherewithal to enforce that policy. The enforcement is poor. Okay, so if as a government you have, giving licenses to waste managers and say, go, this is your own catchment area, enroll the people, clean their waste, charge them, you give them a benchmark, so you can charge between this and this for a household. All right, and then the person goes as a policy maker, as a government personnel. You are going through that area, you see all of this refuse, what would you do? You are supposed to call those people you have given licenses to and say, what's happening in your area? I went through Benin. The whole place is so, messed up. You are not doing your duty. So these are issues. These persons they leave. It is just an opportunity to make money. Many times I think it's just about how to compensate some of your cronies. And so you just give them licenses and go out there and then collect money. These persons where I live, at times 4 months before you will see waste managers
And some
coming.
people resort, some people
And
resort
when they
to
come,
burning.
Yes,
Yeah,
no,
because
that's
of
obvious.
course,
Because I
They
heard
start
one woman
burning
said,
the refuse.
yes, like you said, I heard one woman said,
When
in
it
our
becomes
street, it took us
disturbing.
how many months they don't
Yes.
so we end up burning.
Yes.
And
And
even I heard that there are health implications for burning.
Of course,
and all that.
of
So
course,
doctor tell us.
of course. The carbon that you are going to release into the environment, you are going to inhale it first, and people around you. These are going to be deposited in your lungs, and over time, these are going to cause problems for you. Okay, lung cancers and some other issues are going to arise from that simple action alone. Beyond that, you are burning on a soil. That soil has what we call biodiversity.
Okay.
As simple as the earthworms and other organisms that inhabit that soil has a role to play in the balance of the ecosystem.
Ecosystem, yeah.
So by destroying those biodiversity, destroying the grass through fire, you have altered the biodiversity of that soil. Beyond that, gaseous substances are going to be released into the atmosphere, and we are talking about what? Depletion of the ozone layer. So we'll continue to have issues.
So it's a recycling thing.
It's a recycling thing. All right, so these are issues that arise from as common as you think poor waste management is. It affects our health and even affects government budgeting. Because when the people are sick, you're going to need to build more hospitals. You're going to have to spend money on malaria. In some climes of the world, you no longer mention malaria. It's no longer a disease to be considered. But here, it's still a killer of people. You know, in some places, you no longer, cholera and all of that have all been eliminated. But in Nigeria, it's still a killer of people.
So, though, can you itemize your recommendations or what you want the government and the people to do?
All right, for the people, first you have to understand that you have a responsibility to your own health. Even if government is not doing the needful, you have to protect your health first. And so you have to develop a way to manage your own waste. Have your refuse dump and have containers that can be covered. When you cover them, you avoid rodents, rats and all of that from feeding on them and coming back to your house. Okay? Now, if you are not registered with a waste manager, do so. Because the idea of gathering your waste and then late at night you pack them, you go and dump them at a gutter.
Yes, that's what. So because the
The
rains are
effect will
coming,
come back to you.
The rains are here with us, and at times this causes flood and all that. Because when
Of
the
course.
drains are blocked, I was able to. I think one time ago, sometime in the night, I witnessed somebody dump refuse inside the gutter. I was like, this is the situation we are talking about.
It's a
And all.
common
At the end
sight.
of the day, you see these stones building up in a gutter and flooding
It's
all
a
over.
common sight.
And it's affecting the health of the people at the end of
Of
the day.
course, not just the
And
health.
everywhere we
With
just
time,
be
there's going to
littered
be
with-
erosion, gully,
People's
homes.
houses are swept
Homes
by
are going
flood.
to be swept away, and so we have more people in IDPs, and so government is going to spend more. All right. So what we are saying is that as an individual, develop your own ways of managing your waste, and know that poor waste management have impact on your health. And then when you enroll with a waste manager, don't, if you talk today, nobody listen to you, talk tomorrow. Keep talking until you are heard, your voice is heard. That's on the part of the people.
Okay.
Pay your fees as and when due, so that you will have that moral liberty and legal standing
To challenge
the waste manager
Okay,
and
to
say, I have
government
my
now.
receipt.
To the government, though.
For the government, policies and implementation of policies. And I will also want to say that waste management should not be taken holistically as a profit-oriented business of government. It should be a social responsibility to clean your environment for sustainable environment and sustainable development. So government have that responsibility. After all, everybody pay tax. So what do you use those tax to do? Is it only about constructing road? Is it only about building bridges? No. Waste management should be part of it. And so every government at every level must ensure that you have a policy that is workable, and you have monitoring teams. You are able to implement monitoring and proper waste disposal. Even most times when we talk about the waste disposal, where do the government officials, where do the waste manager, where exactly do they even dispose the waste?
I think there's
they
one
end up packing it somewhere and burning it there.
I think there's one in Luka Iquinero in Benin here, dump site. Yes. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Dr.
Thank you.
Odomo, for being part of the program. It's very interesting, the points you've raised. And we hope that people will need to inform before we close. What do you have to tell us?
Cleanness is next to godliness. So as individuals, make sure that you play your own part, and as government, please always be prompt in evacuating this refuge for the health of everyone. Thank you for staying with us this week.
Thank you so much, Doctor. We look forward to having you more.
Thank you very much.
Thank
It's
you
a
for your
pleasure.
contributions.
Thank you.
And like it's been said, everybody has a role to play. When you play your role as a citizen and government plays its role, I think everything will balance and we'll have a safer society. Thank you so much. Until next week, when we bring to you another edition of Midweek Connect. Stay blessed.
Remember our producers.
No, you don't forget.